Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Borderlands 4 build video, and today I'll be going over my Ordnance Amon build called Heavy Ordnance Ricochet Bananza Amon, otherwise known as HORBA. This is a build I predicted would be crazy at pre-launch, now updated with post-launch knowledge, using Tail of the Comet as a double dipping dot and infinite ammo with different skills and gear, making this one of the best builds for Amon currently. I also want to give a shout out to Mobilytics, where you will find all of my builds, including this one and tons of guides. It has an amazing build planner that I am in love with and cannot see myself using anything else. This is also a great place to see the most updated version of this build while more discoveries and adjustments are made. You will find this linked in the description below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 4 content, and consider becoming a member to support the channel and get videos early. Now, let's get into it. Alright, now, first with the gear, I usually go with guns, going over Ordnance. First thing to know with Ordnance is with the Heavy Weapon Ordnance, it gets both gun and Ordnance damage. So that's two boosts. They're additive with each other, but still that also means they get Ordnance effects and gun effects. So we are still getting stuff like Tail of the Comet, but we are also getting stuff like Bullet Hail. Now, this just makes it really good, and what makes this even more dumb is that this benefits from ammo regen and ammo return. So we've got stuff like Super Soldier, which regens 1 ammo per second. We've got the Primal Surge here. We've got a class mod option with Endless Bombardment. Not what I usually use, but it still is really good. So we are basically never getting rid of our Ordnance, which is insane. So now with the actual gun choices with the Ordnance, I haven't really gone over much stuff. There's just two really good ones that I've used: Bottle Lightning and then Hail Spike. Both are Malawan Heavy Ordnance. One is a non-unique, one is unique. Bottle Lightning is really good for bossing and also pretty decent for mobbing. Now, what Bottle Lightning does and makes it so good for mobbing is it does these little tendrils out. And so you can shoot a lot of these when you have like all the ammo regen in return going, and just constantly spam it, and it just deletes everything. And all these tendrils applying Tail of the Comet, making it really, really good. But what I like to do for bossing, and still works very well for mobbing, is going to be the Hail Spike with the 2-shot and Merv. Now, without 2-shot, your base damage is going to be higher, which means you will have stronger Tail of the Comet. But for now, since I don't have those, I just go to ×2. If this changes, I'll put it in the Mobilytics guide. So with this one, you basically shoot 2, and then it does 6 Merv projectiles, counting as 8 projectiles total. But what we have with high caliber here, which is a firmware, at the 3rd tier, you have bullets pierce enemies. So if I was at a dummy, which I'm not right now, you would see a total of 16 projectiles. So these are going to be your go-to. With the Bottle Lightning, I've seen up to 3 mag, but really you want to prioritize base damage on all of these. I have some 6 mag and some 8 mags on here. And then for the guns, first we're having stat 6. Since this is non-gun build, we don't really shoot our guns much. I mean, technically non-gun build, because this technically counts as a gun and stuff. But let's not get technical with that. So I like to use the Kuga with the fire launcher. I think any Jacobs can have it. It just makes enemies take increased damage dealt. So this will double dip into Tail of the Comet right here. So that's just why that's really good. I think there's like an Atlas one as well, but I just have this one right now. And then you have your other 3 slots for fight for your life stuff. I just have Hot Slayer because I really like how it shoots and its high base damage. I don't know if this damage applies to everything else. It could be good for that, but I haven't really focused too much on that right now, but that could be a really good boost. And then these 2 slots, again, just fight for your life or stat sticks. And then for the rep kit, we go the triple bypass, because this has 3 charges and 30% chance to replenish a charge on kill. So this is going to be really just for action skill, not so much healing. If you do need to heal with it, you can, but we've got some other survivability stuff to where you shouldn't need to heal too much. This is really just when your action skill goes on cooldown, because you have the action skill cooldown rate part on here, and then you also have specialization. now with caffeine, which reduces your tactical cooldown by a fourth when a rep kit is activated. This is not just 25% cooldown, it literally just takes your cooldown and cuts it by 1/4. So it helps a lot. You could also go amp on here for the 200% increased damage. This will mainly be for bossing though, and not as much for mobbing. I'd probably just go with the cooldown rate. But that is an option. This is just going to be really easy to spam. There's probably also some other damage boost, like if there's gun damage or all damage. I don't really remember. I really only looked out for access skill cooldown rate. But that could also be really good. And then for the class mod, I have right now two options. My main go-to is the Ice Bringer. This is for maximum damage, as this will give points into Tail of the Comet, which means instead of 60% of cryo damage per second, you are dealing 120% of damage out per second, which is going to be great for this double dipping. And that's really the only skill you have to focus on. And then the other option is going to be the Cyborg, which is a little flexible in skills. There's two skills you can get. Get Primal Surge, which I don't know if I'd get or like focus on because we already get in skill tree. But the main thing is going to be Endless Bombardment. Heavy Ordnance has a chance to refund 1 ammo when damaging enemies. And since we are damaging enemies a lot with like either this Merv stuff or with, say, our Bottle Lightning and all of its tendrils, when on cooldown, can't use it anyways. Endless Bombardment will be really, really good here. Then we just have like some damage stuff and some overshield stuff, which it doesn't matter at all. Can completely ignore it. So you could look for like 5 Endless Bombardment and then 2 Primal Surge if you wanted to. It all really just depends. And then for passives you want to look out for, there's a lot of passives. You've got Ordnance crit chance, you've got skill cooldown rate, status effect chance, and then you got a bunch of damage stuff. And then you also have stuff like elemental damage, ordnance damage, gun damage. I think there might be like a regular just global damage boost. Elemental and global damage boost will be really good because that should double dip into Tail of the Comet. And then for the shield, this shield is a must-have. You need this for this build to work well. This is going to be the Super Soldier. This will regen 1 ammo per second when energy shield is full. And when energy shield fulls, it grants an overshield. And then also gives fire rate, movement speed, not as important. But what you also need with this is a must-have, is Siphon. When dealing damage, 10% chance to grant overshield. I also have overshield booster, which is really lucky. 10% chance to spawn an overshield booster that grants overshield. But really you just need Siphon and that will keep you at full overshield, which just means that our shield is not hit as much, so we are keeping our shield full more. Then for our enhancement, really just anything with ideal passes. Ideal passes will be stuff like gun damage, gun splash damage, and gun splash radius. Gun splash radius is nice for our like mirror projectiles, so if we've got like smaller enemies, or even still just like a big enemy, more likely to hit them again. Now you need the gun specific ones and not the gun type ones. So like we have assault rifle accuracy. If you had like assault rifle splash damage, wouldn't do anything. There's no heavy splash damage here or ordnance stuff. It's all just focused on guns. But for the actual specific ordnance, just look for anything that helps your fight for your life gun. Boosting that will be really nice. As our fight for your life isn't the best since all our damage is in our ordnance, but good strong guns like meta guns will get you out. Then for the specialization, the placement of these specializations do not matter at all. Literally not at all. But what we do here is must have is the high caliber with 3. We get projectile speed, gun damage, but mainly the bullet piercing. I already went over it with the heavy stuff. But this piercing will double our projectiles basically. If you hit an enemy and that pierces and that hits the ground and merves again, it is just insane. I don't know if it works with Ball Lightning, but if it does, that's great. And then I go get thrown for the slash radius and ordnance damage. I think there's a tier 1 slash radius, but I still wanted that ordnance damage as it's just nice, so I went with it anyways. So there is probably a little flexibility with get throw in here. And then for the skill tree, with our action skill here, we go Scourge. This will help protect us. Get hit less means less worrying about our overshield and shield getting hit and our health getting hit for better survivability. We really don't want to go into fight for your life as all our damage is in our heavy ordnance, so Scourge helps with that. And then I go Cryonic Thrum, as this will give some healing, which is nice, but mainly will give a bonus element. It's only a 35% bonus element, but it's not terrible to have, but it's not great 'cause it's not going to be applying the Tail of the Comet, just a regular gun. But there's really nothing else here. Eternal Winter, not good for this. And then we don't go Capstone, even though we could reach Glacial Rapture. We still want Firewall. This enemy hits this, it'll grant Vengeance, which helps with Cryonic Thrum, but really it helps with the increased damage and projectile speed. You really only need this for bossing, or you don't need it, but it helps a lot more in bossing. But it also is nice for mobbing. You just want to throw it out there, and maybe it helps you a little bit. Now for the actual skills, first we go the Thrill. This is going to be a huge survivability skill with missing health regen. This says missing health regen 6%, 30% health regen per stack of Resolute. I'm assuming it's increasing this 6% here. It's not doing 36%. That would be insane. But this should make it like at max, I think around 90% missing health regen, which is crazy. So it especially helps at low health and getting to any health gate we have. It gets slower at full health, but that's fine. And then to get down the tree and also helps, we go 2 points in Wrath of Nature. We do have 5 points here, but we have 3 flexible points just overall in our skill tree. So I'll explain that later. But this gives us status effect chance, which is good for helping apply Tail of the Comet, which is the big damage dealer here in the focus of the build. Whenever Amon deals ordnance damage, there's a chance to apply his cryo status effect that deals cryo damage over time for duration. That duration is 4 seconds. Tail of the Comet is affected by a status effect chance. So it has this chance of 30%. So then we'll apply this, and this status effect chances will multiply with this 30%. And then any other status effect boost we have will apply to it. And so at this, it will be 60% of damage dealt per second. So this will be the ordnance damage formula, and then multiply it by the cryo status damage formula. But yeah, that's our big damage boost. And then we have bullet hail. This just helps boost our mobbing. This should double dip. I haven't tested it yet, but the way it's worded, it should double dip. 75% chance of damage dealt and 20% chance to ricochet. We have a lot of bullets going around, so it should be easy to get that. And this applies with our Heavy Ordnance, as it counts as a gun, which makes it really good. Then we go Icy Rage. Killing an enemy with cryo damage with guns or status effects will grant a stack of Cryo Affinity for duration. Cryo Affinity stacks grant increased gun damage. This gun damage goes into our gun, being really good. But really, we're going down to Primal Surge. But with this, our Tail of the Comet dot will stack this. And then if we use like a cryo ordnance, that counts as a gun kill, and that'll apply for getting a stack. And then we go Primal Surge. Whenever Amon deals a status effect to an enemy, there's a chance of partially restore his shield and ammo. This is really important to get, and we have it at 5 out of 5. Keep our survivability and our ammo up. You will see stuff like Winter's Kiss with dealing ordnance damage, but we deal so much ordnance damage, we're not going to be able to keep the stack up. And if this Winter's Kiss, or like this Chroming Shard, or this Bullet Hail gets a kill, it won't stack Icy Rage. So we're consuming it fast, but not keeping it out fast. So I don't even mess with Winter's Kiss. And Tail of the Comet's plenty fine here. Then we go Blackout. Blackout gives us crit chance. Critting is more damage. Then crit hits from direct ordnance damage applies shock. Now, this is bugged, and it deals 1/5 of the damage dealt that it's saying. So it's actually like 21%. Making it not very good. I still take it for the crit chance, but when this is fixed, this will be amazing for helping deal with shields, since we have our cryo here, and then we just have flesh to deal with, which cryo does really good with. So we really just have that shields to worry about. Then we have these 3 extra skill points in this tree. This could go into Machinist if you need to restore a percentage of your ordnance cooldown. Normally don't, because you never have to put away your weapon besides specific things, and we should be at full. Otherwise, you just put out Wrath of Nature. Now I'm going to explain why we need Machinist. So a problem with our ordnance is it likes to, any action really likes to put away our ordnance, and then it'll put it on cooldown. So let's see, we have our action skill active, we shoot, and then we go away, and then we do our forge whip. Oh, our ordnance away. But we had our ordnance at full charges, so it wasn't on cooldown. Do it now. Oh, look at that. It went on cooldown because we weren't at full charges. So if you do any action, really, besides like gliding, jumping, and dashing, you will want to make sure your charge is at full. Otherwise, it goes on cooldown, and then you have to wait for that loop to go. This also applies to, say, firewall, punching, grappling, like grabbing anything, or mantling. Let's see, mantle here. Yep, that'll do it. So very annoying and interruptive to the gameplay loop, but usually we have our ammo regen up high enough to where this isn't too much of a hassle. Really, the part that hurts the most is going to be mantling. If you actually get close to somewhere, jump and mantle. That's where machinist I found could be really good. Otherwise, eventually you get used to making sure that you have full ammo when you do your actions. Now we'll go back to the skill tree. We don't go anything in green tree. There is some good formula boost. I might do a bossing version of this if you're just farming bosses, to where I'd probably go like just a tiniest bit in this tree, as it will help with this. As if our Tail of the Comet could crit, it would benefit from crit damage. I don't think it works well here, but it'll help with Gathering Storm with this elemental damage being 30% at max. But in red tree, our main thing, we're going for cooldown, but I'll slowly go down the list. Impetus, shield recharge rate is nice, but really not needed because of our shield restore. Movement speed's nice for getting around place to place, survivability, especially since holding heavy ordnance reduces our movement speed, as well as cryo thrum when aiming down sights reduces our movement speed. And then I just have heavy plate to get down the tree, but it isn't terrible. If you are using fire ordnances often, then what burns within will be optimal instead of these two. Actually just helps boost the base damage. Then we go gut punch. Ordnance damage has a chance to apply weakness. Will enemies deal reduce damage? But the important part is they take increased damage, and this damage boost at 20% is going to double dip into Tail of the Comet. Then we have Wield the Storm, deals increased status effect damage, which is good for our Tail of the Comet. And then we have Metal Urge, which dealing gun damage, gain increased action skill cooldown rate. Don't have much action skill cooldown rate except for gear and specialization, so this is very nice. And then I go 1 point into Berserk, just for the slow immunity. If I shoot myself and apply any sort of cryo damage, then this slow immunity will help. Bonus element doesn't help. I really just got this for the slow immunity. Just need 1 point for it, so it's nice. I haven't messed with Bloodlust just because lifesteal is different in this game, so I don't know if it's worth it. Yeah, that's basically it for the skill tree. Now for the specialization. We have 3 main skills and then another one that can be optional for now. First one, must have, is going to be Now with Caffeine. Reduce action skill cooldown whenever a rep kit is activated. This just cuts your cooldown by a fourth. It's not 25% action skill cooldown rate, just reduces your action skill cooldown. Very, very nice. Then we have Riddle You This. Whenever the Vault Hunter deals gun damage, gain a stack of Riddle You This. Increases gun damage up to 50% gun damage. Really easy to keep up as it works with our ordnance. Then we have the best defense. Vault Hunter gains increased damage dealt based on the fullness of their shield or health, whichever has a higher maximum capacity. Most of the times, either our shield or our health is at full, so we're always getting this damage boost, and this double dips into the Tail of the Comet. Then, for the optional part, Fragmented Payload. Gain increased crit chance with our ordnance, as well as crit damage. Now, when Blackout is fixed, this may be a go-to, because this makes you have 20% increased crit chance with the ordnance, not counting any potential passives. I think one of mine has this, yeah, like 10% on a level 50, making it 30% with all that. But for now, I use it. You could also use Full Spectrum Arsenal. Since we're already getting gun damage now, we just get more ordnance damage based off our gun damage. So we have 50% gun damage here. This turns 50% gun damage into additional 25% ordnance damage, or it turns 50% of our gun damage into ordnance damage. So that is a good option. And there's a bunch of other things. I wouldn't go tripwire because we don't have a good cycle on our action skill. Like if we were using axes, this could be good. Then there's like crit hits, apply status effect chance, or gain increased status effect chance. And then some stuff I need to test with overkill and one shot, one kill. Not sure if overkill is going to be good, but maybe one shot, one kill if it applies to our heavies. And then I don't even deal with Groundbreaker just because it's really buggy right now and I don't want to mess with it because you can do some stupid stuff. And then our gameplay is really simple. You activate your action skill and then activate your forge skill or firewall, which is on cooldown for me. And then you basically just start shooting. Really that easy. And you'll be streaming this a lot more when you're actually in combat. Oh, and then our action skills down, so put away while at full ammo. Like that. Oh, action skills back. Oh, and we got our forge skill up. Okay, now we just shoot through this. Boom, very easy. Oh, I think we dotted ourselves with something. And our shield wasn't up, so I accidentally used our all our ammo here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 4 content, and consider becoming a member to support the channel and get videos early. Don't forget to check out the Mobalytics build write-up in the description, as it is always the most up-to-date version of the build. This could be minor tweaks or huge reworks. Once Blackout is fixed, this build will be even more dumb with being able to cover armor and shield, just leaving flesh. While this isn't exactly how I planned HORBA to turn out, I am still very, very, very pleased with the results. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.